Hi, Navtej.
Hi, everyone.
We'll start in a while.
A permission, I will come back soon. I
Yeah.
have emergency, please.
Yeah,
I'll be back. Yeah.
Hi, Charles. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
So, all set for the session today?
What do you say?
All set for today's session?
I'm trying to.
But appreciate that you were also responding at the initial thing. So, that's a good way to get started.
Hello, Charles. Good evening. My name is Sudesh. I'm a Leadtecno staff. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing very good. We have never spoke before, and we wanted to know about you. Are you in US or Canada?
I'm in the US.
You're in the US. Which city are you in?
I'm in Houston.
In Houston. Okay, my uncle is in Dallas, and
Oh,
we come to meet there. It's a beautiful. What's the weather there? How much are you doing now?
the weather is warm. I mean,
That's good.
right now.
That's good. That's good. That's good. We need a lot of sun before the winter kicks in. That's good. And Charles, we were trying to reach out to you. Are you from the tech background? Are you just trying to know a little bit about you? I know most of the guys here. Are you from the tech background? Are you moving into ServiceNow, or what is your current state right now? What is that you're looking for?
Well, I had a tech background.
Yeah.
Uh, I have previously, I used to be a trainer for the Epic software
Yeah. Yeah.
in healthcare field.
Okay.
But I kind of stopped that because I was traveling around most of the time. I was on the road
Right.
in the city. So, and I have young kids, so going to
Uh-huh.
school and all that. So in order to
Okay.
plan that and engage with my kids, I
Yeah.
decided to stay home. So
Right.
have I have a cybersecurity kind of background in school, but I did not use it. So I'm just trying to see where I fall into. That's what
Okay.
I'm,
All right.
yeah.
And you're moving in back into tech right now as a ServiceNow BA?
Well, I use ServiceNow.
Yeah.
I use it for, where I currently work as a contractor, but I
Okay.
need to understand it more to be able to, because I do see some issues with what we do, with what we have at work. And when
Okay.
you read the ticket, they have to, somebody somewhere like a third person, oh, let's get
Right.
with the
Right.
developer. They can do this if they can do that. So if it's
Right.
something I
Right.
do understand and I can apply for the position at the job at the company and say, listen, I can do this for you rather than you guys running
Right,
around third parties.
right,
That's okay. Let me check this out. Let me see what is going on.
right, right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So Charles, in this session, I'm sure, uh, Vishal brother, have you taken them through the training roadmap already?
No, no, not yet.
You might want to show that today. And so Charles, I just want to let you know this is a ServiceNow BA role. There's a lot of openings for ServiceNow deployment. So we first start with ServiceNow BA training, and then we're going to learn in how to configure the ServiceNow ITSM. And we're going to learn about SPM, ITBM, um, a good ecosystem learning about the ServiceNow BA and HRSD deployment as well, right? It's going to be a thorough download of information for you, and I wish you learn a lot over here. And if you want anything to be covered or added, let us know. Vishal sir has got a tremendous experience in ServiceNow. Okay, nice knowing you, Charles, and happy to have you here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Manu. How are you? Good evening. Manu Tabani. Hi, Manu. How are you? Okay, no issues. Vishal sir, I think there are some few guys are logging, but you can start, I think.
Yeah, sure. I'll start in a minute. Great. So friends, please confirm you are able to view the screen.
Yes. ServiceNow Core Competency Program modules.
Okay, not this one. Let me see. Yes. Now, what is BA? Can you see this? No.
Yes.
Great. So you can see on my screen what is BA, right? That's the screen. Great. So friend, let's get started in the journey. And today we'll be discussing how we are going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so today in today's session, I will also be sharing you about the training curriculum, what all we'll be covering, and we'll get started with one of the business case studies. So before moving into this, let's get started. In the previous session, we had discussed about the different roles, skills, and everything. And starting today, we are going to dive deep into what exactly is required from you. So please understand that this whole training is designed in such a way to start with a mindset. You need to understand that as a BA or any BA across the globe, you need to understand that you are part of the solution. Remember one thing, you are part of the solution, but not directly providing the solution. That also means that you will be acting as an enabler for the organization to identify and implement the right solution. With that note, let's get started. So BA is a practice of enabling change in an enterprise. Remember one thing, change is very, very difficult, but still, if you don't bring in that change, that may be one of the issues which might be deeply hurting the organization. So how you can bring the change? You can bring in the change by identifying their needs, understanding the stakeholder requirement, and then recommending solution that suits their requirement because there will be multiple solutions available for them, right? You need to identify and analyze and let them tell that, okay, after analyzing your current situation and desired goal, this is the solution which suits your requirement. And that's exactly you can get started with. So primarily at the BA, you have to be there at a strategic level, tactical level, and an operational level. And remember one thing, as a BA, you need to also ensure that you have a domain and you have a boundary. So please ensure that that is there. Okay. I'll discuss when it comes into, because remember one thing, as a BA, once you dive into this, you are like the one man show, but you will be working as a team, you will be working as a collaborator, and you have to plan in such a way that right at what time what is to be done and how it will come into the picture. Let's get started. So friends, what do you see here in this diagram? Can we have in the chat box, please? Let's see. What do you understand from this? Friends, can we have an answer from you? What do you understand from this particular slide? Okay, dev team, fantastic, very good. Identified rightly. Ganga, others, Navtej, what do you see here? Friends, let's keep it rolling. It would be fun. So I would like to know what you understand from these slides. Complete team, fantastic. And how BA is actually interacting. And can anyone tell me how BA interacts with each and every one? Can someone tell me the flow? What exactly BA is doing here? Or ideally, what should BA do in the particular scenario? Shining in the light. Wow, fantastic. Thank you, Charles. That was a great answer. And that's exactly what we are here to discuss. Shining the light, right? Great. So, friend, if you watch carefully, business analysts will be discussing the whole with the team. The reason is he will be in this picture, he is providing a solution, which means he has a larger role to play. So, as you can see, at a first level, business analysts will interact with the business stakeholders. Again, why he'll be interacting? He will try to understand the exact requirement. Remember, requirement analysis is a very, very big stage for the business analyst. Unless and until he doesn't have the right requirement, he will never be able to give the right solution. Exactly. And as Sunshine mentioned, identifying problems, analyzing, and proposing solutions. But in this, if you don't identify the right problem, you will definitely give a wrong solution. So, to get a right solution, you need to understand and identify the right problems. And that's exactly what it becomes difficult. Most of the people don't try to have or understand that there can be a lot many questions which can be dig deep. So ideally, they need to ask more questions, and that's what we are here to. So BA will interact with the business stakeholders to gather the requirement. Now, if we speak of stakeholders, stakeholders can be business heads, department managers, or end users maybe. So let's see one of the example. Assuming we are in a retail company and who wants a mobile app for their customer to track the loyalty points. Okay. Very simple. We are in a scenario where we are working with a retail company who wants a mobile app for customers to track their loyalty points and offers. Okay. So now BA will conduct interview with marketing heads, customer support, and few customers. The idea is he will bring in the requirement. He'll try to understand that what is loyalty points, how they can be used, how they can generate more, and how they can redeem the coupons from the app itself. Okay. So that's exactly how the interaction will go. If you see here, he also interacts with the technical team. The idea is that once he gets information from the stakeholders, he will prepare those business requirements into a functional specific document, FSD. I hope everyone knows about it. Can we have a yes or no? FSD, which is functional specification document. Okay, fantastic. So friends, example of this solution can be, remember in the previous session we discussed, As a customer, I want to see my loyalty points as soon as I log into the app. As a customer, I want to get the push notification for new offers, right? Absolutely. And this can be added to Jira or Confluence and explained during the planning, right? So here also comes that as a business analyst, you need to know a bit of Jira as well, Confluence as well, and then during the sprint planning, you can go ahead and so now what happens? The technical team will discuss with the architect. So when we speak of architect, architect is the one who designs that solution. Again, remember, we are not solving the problem or we are not providing the solution. We are only being an enabler to the solution. Okay. So now the technical team will discuss with architects. What will they discuss? So developers and engineers will reach out to the architect and then they will try to understand what is the solution. Because architect is responsible for ensuring that the solution is scalable, there is a security available, and along with that, that is a technical alignment. So ideally, what will happen? Team will ask to the architect, hey, should we use React or should we use Flutter for the mobile app? Or how should we integrate our existing customer database? Okay. Again, architect will evaluate and they will find that what kind of a solution he or she requires. Now, architect will in turn go back and discuss with the technical team. So guys, you can see the process flow. Okay. Architect will discuss with the technical team. So architect will give them a specific high level design. Hey, team, we are planning to get started with this and these are available and we want to get you started. And the document will become a base model for you to begin the development. So now technical team will go ahead and look into that document and understand. So probably the document would have AWS infra diagram. They might have API design for the customer. They might have the database schema. Okay. And then they gradually go ahead and set up their backend, which can be anything as per the architect. It can be Node.js or Firebase because they want the real-time offers. Okay. Once this is done, the technical team will interact with the application delivery team. So now, when you discuss with the application delivery team, what will happen? They will try to understand about the development, testing, because remember one thing, unless and until the program is tested, deployment cannot take place, right? Once that is done, they will have QA and DevOps who will ensuring that application meets as per user expectation. So friends, this part is very, very important. QA and DevOps will ensure that the application meets the expectation. That means whatever was expected during the initial stage, whether it is there in the deliverable. Most of the time, the mismatch occurs at this level. If this level is not functioned well, it can go haywire. So what will happen? Developer probably build the app. Maybe it will take time and plan accordingly. They have a deadlines and timelines and they ensure that they meet the timeline. Quality team will test. So he or she will log in. He will try to understand the loyalty points and whether they are able to see the loyalty points, they are able to redeem that coupon and not. Along with this, they will also see that if everything is working great, they will push this app to the Play Store and App Store in case of Apple also. Finally, the application team will move on to the stakeholder. So they will say, hey, we have completed a task and this is how the solution looks like. Okay. Again, very important part in the application delivery, they will not upload into the Play Store and App Store unless and until they get a go ahead from the client because there can be a reason that they might go ahead and have a addition. Okay, so now when application delivery moves on to the stakeholders, they will show, hey, this is the finished application and how this is working. So as per your requirement, we have seen that and we will monitor that. Okay, now stakeholders can have another test at his level and they might also want that they have certain changes into that. Again, this time what will happen? BA will collect the feedback. Business analyst will collect the feedback and then he might push into the technical team again. So remember one thing, he is one who is guiding the technical team and discussing with the stakeholder, which means he's also discussing the functional requirement and the technical requirement, ensuring that the process is done. Again, there can be some issues. In fact, if there is some more issues, he will try to dig deep. Okay, this was one of the examples where we are developing something new, but there will be multiple instances where the problem will be much, much bigger. Okay. Also, please understand whether you are in US, you are in India, you are in Canada, or you are anywhere in the globe, the role of a BA will always be there because he is the one who is the enabler. So now you can see that how the shining light comes into the picture because he is the one who will guide the team and ensure that everything is done. Okay. Again, very, very important part, especially he will be also following SDLC method or other method, which we'll be covering in the next session. So friends, just to share in initial sessions, I'll be keeping it light so that we all get connected and gradually we'll dive into it. I'll also take you through the curriculum today so that you have a clear picture that what we are planning to go ahead. Okay. And I'll also show you that what are the different tools we will be learning because few of you had a query that whether we'll be doing practical or we'll be having just a basic thing. Okay, so I'll add on these tools for learning. Okay, and in fact, if you have anything in mind, feel free during that session and we can actually take it forward accordingly. Okay. Exactly the point which I was discussing. So friends, you should know that as a BA, you are the enabler. In previous session, you saw that business analyst was not designing the solution, but he was actually enabling in the organization. So your role is to enhance, not actually give the solution. Also, you need to understand that as a business analyst, you have a boundary. Okay. So it's always better not to overlap each other's boundary because in that case, there can be some issues. Okay. So you need to ensure that everything has to be followed with a process and along with the boundary. Also, you need to understand that you are not the one or you will not the one who will solve the problem. Please understand. Your role here is to empower the team and empower them in the right direction. So that's exactly the point which you will come in as a business analyst. Okay. And trust me, if you start empowering the team to solve the right problem in the right way, you have done your task. Okay. Yeah. So especially if we come in here, the key component of a solution would be organizational restructure. You might also see that there will be business process re-engineering, right? And then there will be a scenario where you might have to have process improvement initiative where you want to enhance the process. Okay. In this also you might have that information technology to support business. So that also brings in the key elements. So ideally, what will happen? You have to understand their business needs and challenges. You have to bridge the gap between stakeholders and technical teams. Again, in cases, you have to facilitate clarity to the solution which can be arrived or derived. Along with this, the final stage would be helping in the decision making. How you can help them by a decision making? By analysis, by documentation, and by doing a validation. So many times, as I mentioned across, there will be problems with the organization and there will be a desired state and the current state, right? So for that, what organization across the globe do is they will try to identify and resolve the issue with their in-house team. Okay. So if they have their in-house team, they will go ahead and speak to them and try to get the end-to-end solutions. But most of the cases, when they say that, hey, seems like our in-house team needs more refinement, so they will look forward to experts, consultants. And this is where you will come into the picture. Why? because you will be hired to design, propose, and develop solutions that will solve their problem. And very, very important, once that is done, you will be able to help them to grab the opportunity with both hands. Okay. So friends, if you have any questions here, please let me know. All good till now? I hope. Any questions here? If you have anything, please let me know. So friends, now if we move ahead, you have a clear understanding that you are part of the solution, not by directly providing the solution. Remember, you are the enabler and you will empower the team to solve the right problem in the right way. Okay. So coming down to again, very, very important part that especially when you are looking forward to the solution, you will have to understand what is the current state. As I mentioned earlier, ideally, what organization would like to know that what is my current state and what is the state they want to go ahead, or we call it as a desired state. So, especially when you come into the picture, to get the solution, you have to dig deep. How can you dig deep? By understanding their current state. So you will try to understand and analyze that what are the current business processes? What are the pain points? What are the bottlenecks? Is there any inefficiency in the team? Or whether we have any issues in the team? Again, guys, please understand that it's about identifying, it's about analyzing. And once you identify those, you can start mapping with their future state. So, how you can map that with a future state? By designing or enhancing business processes. So, you will guide them that, okay, this is what we are expecting, and this is how we want to go ahead. Also, you have to become the alignment guy who will be aligning the business needs and opportunities. Many cases, there will be a scenario that you have to realign the organization vision, goal, and strategy. Why? Because you want to make sure that the solution will support the overall direction and priorities of the organization. Okay, that's a very, very important goal. So, as mentioned, realigning the organization. So, you need to ensure that you realign the whole thing. And then, most important part to achieve though that part, you have to ensure that you capture their business system, get the technical requirement, ensure that your requirements are clear. Because if you don't get the requirement in a clear way, you will give the wrong solution. So ideally, you need to ensure that the right problem is solved in the right way while aligning with the solution and the business strategy. Okay. As is and to be fantastic, Sunshine, and that's exactly where you are. Uh, Okay, great. So, friends, I hope now you are trying to understand and grab into it. So, friends, please understand it's a mindset, right? And it's experience. So gradually, once you start working on it, start analyzing. Remember one thing, as a business analyst, you have to do a lot of talking. You have to keep on asking lot many questions. And that's exactly where your role will come into the picture. Okay. And then if we move towards the next slide, it will be about project. So a quick one-liner. Guys, what is a project? Can anyone tell me in one line? What is a project? Let's see what is a project.
Project can be anything, event.
Fantastic. That's the
Or
right answer.
it can be a 1-day project, 1 month project, 1 year, 5 year, long term. So project can be like any
So
duration,
it can be a short-term project, it can be
a long-term project.
and probably one time also.
Yes.
Fantastic. And how do you think that BA will come into it? So do you think that BA should only focus on a short-term project or a one-day project or a large project? What do you think?
I think long term, last, depending on the, I think the requirement, right? Like if they have a long-term requirement, we have
Okay.
to do the long-term analysis. If it's a 1 day, then I don't know. I have like limited knowledge on that.
No, don't worry. So, Ganga, this part is discussing why this was a trap question. A reason. Because as a business analyst, you will not be concerned that whether it is a one-time event, a long-term project, short-term project. Your role is to ensure that you give the right solution.
Right.
Right, so we will not focus on it, but again, depending on that, we will design the solution accordingly, right? So every problem will be different, every project will be different, and as mentioned, project is a one-time event, so and there will be a specific beginning and a specific end date. So it can be a long-term project, it can be a shorter project, and it can be depending upon the exact requirement of the organization, or maybe it will be a continual process. Okay. And so, friends, a very interesting part I can see here that in the chat, you guys are giving the exact answer. So that is very, very important. And we always say that specific is terrific. So I appreciate everyone. In fact, Ganga, thank you for hitting the ball out of the park by giving the right answer exactly. Okay. So appreciate it. See, and you should start speaking a lot now. So because you are giving the right answers. Okay. And in fact, Charles Sunshine, absolutely right answers. Okay. So, especially when we discuss about a project, you need to understand. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Summer, you're asking something? Okay, I guess we have some news. Summer, I'm putting you on a mute. Okay. Hey, hi, Adi. Hi, Sunita. How are you doing? Hi, Charles. Others. Those who have joined late, we will be discussing one. So, I'm just getting started, and once I'll come back and we'll interact with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, friends, again, especially when you see here, project has certain characteristics. So, when you see that what is a project, project can be temporary, can be long term, can be short term. It will have a unique deliverables. And along with this very important part that there will be defined scope, timelines, and resources. So, especially an individual or a collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned to achieve a particular aim in a short term or in a long term will be there. That means current state and desired state. So, that also brings to the very important point that we start with end in the mind. Okay. And then what is PMO? I'm sure you would have heard of it. PMO. What is PMO? Project Management Office. Quickly, friends, can we have answers in the chat box? What is PMO? I'll wait for 10 seconds.
Well, it says it's a group or department within a group.
Thank you, Charles, for that. But I wanted some different answers. Uh, yes, So if you can have something, okay, great. So see, I was waiting for Sunshine to share, right? Great. So Sunshine shared it's a centralized team. Fantastic. So friends, again, as mentioned, project management office will be a department or a group which will be part of the organization to ensure that whatever standards they are following during a project are enhanced and mapped. Primarily, their responsibility will be ensuring that there is a consistency and quality across the project. So primarily what they will do, how can they get a standardization? They can prepare policies. How can they again follow the standard management or project? They will have methods in place. Along with this, they will provide governance, they will provide support, and if required, they will also provide oversight. So ensuring that policies, methods, and processes are designed so that organization ensures the standardization. Okay. Then comes in SharePoint. So SharePoint site is something which is a repository or a hub where users will collaborate with each other. So especially you might have seen in the organization, they have either a Google Drive or a different drive where they store all the data. And when and required, individual users or a group can access that data, right? I hope everyone would have seen that in your office, there will be some central repository, and when and where required, you can put your data and pick up the data from there. More of a document sharing and project. There will be certain task lists, there will be calendars. Again, the very important part, there will be trackers. And what are those trackers? That will be timelines for the projects and updates. The good part is it will also act as a communication for the team. Okay. And that's exactly what we were looking forward to. So let's move to the next slide, which is the current versus future state. Okay. So, friends, this is the part where I want you to answer. I want you to share your experience and let's see that what do you understand by current versus future state. I want everyone to at least give a one-liner minimum. Sunshine, you want to go first this time? And then Ganga can go ahead. Current versus future state. I want you to explain what is that.
Well, if I should go first,
Yeah, please go ahead, Charles.
I will say whatever the process is right now
Okay.
and where you want the process to be in the future after, or maybe once the development team has done the job. Will I be correct?
So, see, there is no right or wrong answer. Everything is right. We are learning, right? So, you have given a great answer. Very good. So, I can see Summer has responded. Hey, Summer, thank you for the response.
Yeah,
Summer,
hi.
yeah. Hi, go ahead. Summer, go ahead. I want you to hear. Please go ahead with the answer. Summer, you can unmute and answer. Yeah. Okay. Sunshine, you want to unmute and answer?
So in my understanding, like current means what is being or what we are working on right now. For example, what tools are being used, what system or process.
Right. Very good.
And future state means like after using those tools, how the future is, how the result is.
Okay. So, but why should we have a future state? Like, I am good with current state. So, why do I require a future state?
Yeah, hi Vishal.
It's basically for the result, right? Like
Yeah.
what we are getting after the application of tools and techniques in the current state.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Very good. Hey, hi, Summer.
Yeah, hi Vishal. Vishal, as per my opinion, the current is the current state.
Mhm.
Like currently, whatever the process is following via by a company or by the client, and
Okay.
the future state might be the things on which we all as a BA team will work on. I think this is the future state.
Okay. Fantastic. So, that's a great answer. That.
Okay, so we have
Yeah.
the current state.
Right.
We look at what's happening now in the company, where
Uh-huh.
we identify the present condition or the issue at hand that we want to discuss.
Fantastic.
And we pinpoint those areas that there is inefficiency or let's say lack of clarity. And when you talk of I'm trying to analyze this the dashboard that you have. When you talk of when, it's always we look at or determine the timing or the frequency that current process we're gonna take us by the time we look into the future and how we're gonna work on that. So when we talk about the future states, we look at the desired outcome. Now we have something at hand. What are we looking at to get in the future? And the where is we specify the location or the process area that we want to look into and set the timeline for the new approach. So why do we have this proper, why do we have the future? It helps us to set the direction or goal, what we want to achieve, to identify all those problems from beginning to the current state to the future state and define the future state. When we define it, it helps when we talk about a road mapping. You allocate the resources, it helps you are time bound, managing the change, and put what we call a benchmark.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, Sunshine. That was the right answer. So, friend, in a nutshell, what Sunshine wanted to, Sunshine, please correct me if I have understood you wrong in that case. The current state will describe that how people, process, technology, and data is currently working. And future state will be how we are looking forward to when we have used our improvements or a solution which has been implemented.
Sure.
Right? That's the right answer? Fantastic. So, friend, again, very, very critical part. Very, very critical part. As a BA, you have to master this. And trust me, as this role is, you have to start mastering yourself. Why? Because you will be using this. So you need to master this skill. You need to understand the current and future state. So as I mentioned, if you see here, there will be few questions you should start asking in, like what, where, when, who, how. And it goes for current as well as future state. Very, very important part is that when you are analyzing, you will identify that, okay, we have started with the current goal and this is our desired goal, right? So ideally, if I want to deploy this, I can reach here. But first, you need to identify the gap analysis. You need to ensure that if I want to reach from stage 1 to stage 2, what are the things which I have to add on? Along with this, very important part is that if I want to reach from 1 to 2, and these are the differences which I have to entertain or I have to gap. So you will ensure that plan that what are the different actions you will take to close that gap. Okay. So if you see the scenario here, you will find what's happening. What should it look like? What is different? And what will be done to address the gap? The second comes in where. Where is the confusion? Where will you change? What will be different? And where will it be addressed? Then you have to ask yourself when. When is to be done? When will it change? When are the difference needed? And when will it be addressed? That brings us to who. Who does the work? Who will do this work? Who will identify and validate the gap? Who will make the decision and complete it? And finally, we have how. Is it sequence? Will it be limited resources? Will the gaps be improved? And how are we planning to roll this out? Okay. So, as a BA perspective, especially the current state will tell you how are the things today, what are the existing tools, workflows, and structures you are working, where are the pain points, and what are the bottlenecks or risks. So, for example, assuming we want to pick up one of the assuming order management process. Okay. So, ideally, if you want to check in their current process, you can start with okay, what is the current process? It may be orders are received via email or phone. Fantastic. Currently, the staff is manually entering the order into spreadsheet. Okay. Once it is done, inventory is tracked separately and there is no real-time update because everything is manual. Okay. Now, customers eventually have the horrifying experience. Why? Because there will be a delay and there will be some errors because the document is not proper. And eventually, once you try to get the monthly report, it will be still delayed and you get it. Okay. So this is the current scenario. If you come down to the future scenario, what will happen? The future state will help us to know that, okay, we want to improve and these are the solutions we are planning to deploy. So ideally, how should process systems and data work in the future and what are we aiming to achieve? So if I give an example here, what will happen? Customer will place order directly through an online portal. So please understand, initially there was only emails and phone. So ideally, if somebody has an email or phone, we have to manually note it down, right? But now if customer plays directly through an online portal, or you can simply add it, you can receive a phone call or email and you can add that on an online portal. So now what will happen? The order will flow into their integrated ERP system. The best part is now this is actionable because everything is uploaded there. We can have real-time inventory. We can have updates. We can have stockouts, which is now saved because you will automatically know that what is the current state. You will see that, okay, I have 10 products available or I have received 10 orders, so I can fulfill them. If the 11th order comes in, you can say that, hey, you have to wait because this will take time. Or ideally, you should stop taking the orders after 10. Yeah. Again, order confirmation and shipping updates will be automatically sent because if everything is doing online, it's very easy. So a classic example, somebody buys through online, he will get a message that, hey, you have placed this order and we are expecting to deliver this order. If you are the one who have given a call or an email, what the team will do, they will simply put that into the ERP. Now what happens? Automatically, once all the details are being given, user will get a mail that, hey, thanks for ordering from us, and this is how we are looking forward to. And the system starts. And eventually, at the end of the month, the reports will be generated in real time for decision making. The good part is you can also customize it or add a workflow that it will automatically go towards the end. Okay. So if you see here as a BA, you will understand the current state thoroughly. You will try to interview stakeholders, observe process, review documentation. You will go ahead and map out workflows. What are workflows? Process, maps, value stream, and so on. You will also identify that what is working in your scenario and what are the things which is not working. And probably if you can add the why, that would be fantastic. Yeah. Then you will define and design the future state. So ideally, after discussing with the stakeholders, you will move towards the organization goal, vision, and strategy and try to align both of them. So here you become a co-creator. You will co-create along with the stakeholder. So since you have designed this, now you will start working on the workflow system and interaction. So you will actually know that these are the things which is required. Also, you can do a deep dive with gap analysis. You will identify that these are the differences which we are getting with the new and the desired state, right? And you can highlight those points. And for moving from A to B or 1 to 2, what all is needed, you can point it out. So what are the changes required? It can be process, it can be tools, it can be skills, it can be data. And eventually you can recommend the solution. Okay. So friends, here, if I start in, there are a few things which you have to understand, and this is very important for you as a BA. There were few more slides, but I'm just trying to share you exact importance. Okay. In this case, you as a BA will have to have clarity, which means everyone will understand the current pain point and the future vision. Second, you will drive the right changes. That means no efforts will be wasted and the efforts done are aligned with your goals. Then you will help in decision making by supporting it. How? So if stakeholder can see the value of proposed changes, you will guide them that why this is required. Along with this, very important part is managing the risk. So you as a BA will now know that what will be change, how the change will come into the picture, and you should be prepared for potential challenges. Okay. So for example, you decide that, okay, what ideally we can do that we can go out and do the work today. But suddenly there's a rain. So you need to plan that you need to carry an umbrella so that your plans are not shattered or broken. There can be multiple instances where you plan something and then there will be an element of risk coming in, probably a delay for the raw material, or there can be multiple scenarios which will come across. Okay? And finally, you will be aligning this with the strategy. And as mentioned, projects and BA role will be completely different. So every problem or every project will be different, right? I can give you more examples for, so in fact, if you go through this, there will be lot many states. And in fact, every task you are doing, there will be a current state and a future state. So probably if you are working with HR, right? So HR can have onboarding process. They will try to understand how their data is handled, how employee experience is handled, how compliance is handled. Okay, so there's lot many things can come into the picture. Okay. So you can see here some of the current states and future states. So you can see management team and technology stack, and then we have future state which says that organizational restructuring is required, supply chain efficiency. And you can see that with current state, we had 62%, and with target status is 79%. The idea is we are improving, and that's exactly which is required. Okay. If you see this one, as is, and so guys, this is some terminology you have to start mastering. So you can see here, as is operation. Cash advance request is done manually. So what is the new plan? To automate the cash advance request portal. Scale deployment, introduction of the technology where you will ensure that people learn in, and then the scope of improvement, which is continuous improvement. So you can see current state, we start, we learn, and then we go towards the future step. And again, prepare the end goal in mind. The as is situation is the operation of the company. This explains how things are being done currently. So if you see here, these all are what we are looking forward to. Okay. And again, some more examples. So you can see how infrastructure is there, how as it and to be. So you can see this is my current state and future state. So you can call it as is for the current start, and for future state, you can call to be. And in between 6 months or whatever the duration is, that is, we call it as a transition phase from current to future state. Okay. And these are some more examples which you can explore. So friends, I'll also be sharing you this presentation. Okay. And the good part is that whatever we are doing, recording will be there. So you will get it. And just for the learners, we are offering the first 3 sessions as a complimentary. You don't have to pay anything, but gradually we will be diving into more detail. Okay. So before moving on to this part, let me just take a time and show you what we are planning. Okay. So I'll just take you through the documentation. Great. So friends, before starting in, we have few more guests join in. Say, hey, hi Adi. Hi Summer. Hi Petri. Okay, Thea is there. So guys, if you can give a small introduction, that would be awesome. Hi Sunita. If you can give us a small introduction for yourself, that would be great.
Hi Vishal, hi everyone. This is Sunita. So basically, I'm starting business analyst course with you guys because before I was working as a Java developer, but I got laid
Oh,
off, and after that, I was just trying my luck everywhere, so not getting
mm,
anything. So I don't want to go into too much coding for now. So I picked this as my career now.
fantastic, fantastic. Great. So it's always great because see, you are a person who has a better understanding how developer thinks. So
Yeah.
especially when you come into this role, you will be
Mm.
more of an enabler. Fantastic. Very good.
Okay.
Great, great. Adi, you're there? Summer, if you can give us a small introduction, that would be awesome.
Yeah, hi Vishal. Vishal, actually, I just landed here in Canada last year,
Okay.
and I was a banker in India, and I have experience of around 13 plus years in banking industry. Banking and financial industry. I work in ICICI Prudential Life Insurance and obviously many more financial institutions. And last year to till date, I was not working because my son is too small, and
Okay.
he is now I put him in a Montessori school. Now I'm free and I am joining you guys to learn
Well,
about BA and all.
so that's a great thing. Great,
Yeah.
great. So great to be back, right? I
Yeah.
appreciate that every female has this top priority, right? That is the one priority which you have. So that is an additional responsibility you guys take. So appreciate that. And welcome back, Summer. I'm sure you'll be going to enjoy this part also.
Okay. Thanks, Vijal.
Hey, Adi, you are there. Adi, if you can unmute yourself, that would be awesome. Great. So, friends, I'm going to take you through the curriculum. And in fact, if you have any questions, so especially Ganga, Navtej, Summer, Sunita, Sunshine, anyone has any questions here? Charles, if you have any questions, so please go ahead. So, Charles, you wanted to see this, right? So, we are just putting in for you to understand. I hope you can see this, right? I hope you are able to see the screen.
Yeah,
So friends, yeah, okay. So if you see here, what we are trying to cover is the initial stages we will be discussing with the core IT BA training. Remember, your core role is business analyst. You are the enabler. You have to empower. So we are discussing initial stages, and especially we will be diving into the role of business analyst in IT projects because there is where money is. Okay. Once this is done, we'll be diving towards the agile and waterfall model, and then we will start with SDLC. So in the next session, we'll be starting with the agile versus waterfall, and then we'll dive directly into SDLC. It will also have BA deliverables. Along with this, we move towards the BA activity. So what are the different BA activities? Starting from requirement gathering techniques, identifying stakeholders and management, UML diagrams, how to use cases, and user stories writing. I will primarily show you ServiceNow example. The reason organization, especially IT organization, have adopted ServiceNow. So that is now a very interesting opportunity what we have observed, and there is a lot more requirement for people who have this additional understanding of service now. Okay. Along with this, we'll have acceptance criteria and definition of done, how it is being done. And then we move on to module 3, where we will be creating. So, Sunshine, this is where we will be having a lot of tasks where you will learn how to create business required document, how to create functional requirement document or FSD also. We'll add on that. Process flow diagrams, activity diagram and sequence, UML. I'm sure you have heard of this name, but we will try to enhance it by giving you live practical things. The friend, trust me, everything will be done real time. We'll be discussing everything and trying to solve it at a real time. And then we'll create mockups and wireframe by using tools like Figma or Balsamic. Okay. I'm sure the most of you, those who are part of this, knows it, but those who are not aware of it, just an idea that we will be getting our hands on all these. We will move towards agile tools and collaboration, where we'll be discussing about Jira and Confluence. We'll also learn how to write epics, user stories, and tasks in Jira. See that how we can also do a sprint planning and review. Along with this, we'll have product backlog grooming and how we can use daily stand up and retrospective participation. Okay. So, friends, it might happen that you might have few terminologies which are completely new, but that's fine. We all are learning and we are just here to get started. Then we have testing and UAT. Okay, so which is user acceptance testing. So you will try to understand what is the BA's role in testing, how to write test scenarios and test cases, how you will be coordinating with the stakeholders during the testing, and what are the defect report and traceability. Finally, we will dive towards the resume, interview, and placement support. So, friends, again, this will be very, very critical part. Okay, so especially when we are working on this, we will be helping you out how to prepare or redraft your resume and how you are planning. We'll also give you, in fact, once the training is completed, you will have mock interviews, you'll have FAQs, you have real-time project walkthroughs. We'll be giving you a lot of case studies, and finally, we'll also guide you that how you can, if you want to move ahead, you can start your journey with BA and gradually move towards ServiceNow implementation specialist. Okay, so that's specially up to you how you can take it. Okay, that's the first phase. The second phase is somewhere where we'll be starting with the ServiceNow administration fundamentals. We'll have a basics of ITSM. We'll cover portfolio management, where we'll be discussing ITBM and SPM. And finally, BA role in ServiceNow. So you can see that we have phase one, which is the BA phase. The second phase is ServiceNow phase. Okay. So quickly coming into what all tools will be covered here. We'll get started with ServiceNow platform. We'll try to understand navigation, overview, how change management, incident management, and request management works. Okay, we learn about different type of service catalog and knowledge management. We'll try to understand how table and form customizations are done, how you can do it. Especially, it will be view only for BA, but I'll just let you know that how you can still get to reach there. And then we will know how to do the automation. Remember, automation is the key. Everyone here wants automation, and we'll show you that how you can use that here. Okay. Along with this, we'll add on JIRA, where we will be discussing how we can create epics, stories, and tasks. So, friend, again, JIRA is one of the product by Atlassian, and many organizations use this as well. Okay, we'll under this we'll learn about backlog grooming, sprint planning, story estimation, and then Kanban and Scrum board view. So, this is something which you are going to enjoy because this will help you to manage everything. And along with this, JIRA will be using Confluence, which will help us in our documentation, requirement, BRD, FRD user stories. We'll also be creating products, project wikis, and linking document with Jira. And then we have Lucid Chart, Visio. Under Visio and Lucid Chart, we'll learn process flow diagram, use case diagram, activity diagram, and sequence diagrams. Okay. In the Balsamic, we'll also have wireframes and mockups, visualizing UI for stakeholders, and how to do a basic prototype. So, friends, again, with Excel and Google Sheet, we'll have RTM, which is requirements traceability matrix. We'll have UAT, we have gap analysis matrix, and then we have sprint tracking logs. Along with this, you will also get a hands-on on BRD, FRD, minutes, and status report, which will be done on Google Docs or Microsoft Word. Okay. So these are what applications which we are planning. So if you have anything in mind, please reach out or let me know. Very important part is to accomplish this, we'll also be wanting you to get these certifications. The first one is Certified Scrum Master, and the second one is CSA. We would want you to get this because this will help us in setting up the path for you because organization would want certifications. Okay, so that's very important. And eventually, we'll move towards the resume preparation. We'll help you out with project and interview questions. We'll help you in building your LinkedIn profile. And along with this, we'll help you in your resume marketing services. So, friends, this is what we are intending for the curriculum. So, if you have any questions, I open it up for 5 minutes. and you can put in any questions. Sunshine, Ganga, Navte, Charles, Sunita, any questions here, please let me know.
Yeah, hi Vishal. This is
Hey, hi
Samar.
Samar, please. Query. Yeah.
Yeah, Vishal, I just wanted to know what is resume marketing services.
Okay. So for that, I guess, can get on a call and we'll take it forward if that works for you.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay, great. So, like, if
Hi,
you have
Vishal,
anything
this is
specific
Aditi.
for the curriculum, that would be great. Content wise, rest, I'll ask Sudesh to connect with you and he'll guide you with this. Okay. Great.
Vishal, I just want to know, like, how long this course gonna take? Like 3 months, 4 months?
No,
Any
no. So
idea you have, like, from the
we have
previous batches that?
we have kept a timeline for 2 months and
Okay.
then 2 weeks for mock interviews and pressure. Because see, what happens is once everything is done,
Mhm.
people start getting interviewed and everything. So they would want some mock interviews and everything. So ideally, 2.5 months is what we're looking forward to. Course completion 2 months, half like 15 days for mock interviews, trainings, and anything which is required for you to upgrade.
Okay, perfect. And also in these 2 months, we'll be able to get our Scrum Master and the other certification, PSS certification that you
We
sent.
recommend it now. It's up to the participant, but we'll help you out in every ways. So we'll train you
Okay,
in
sure.
that way that you'll be able to clear those exams.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
See, it's all about planning. So once we are doing a BA, we also have to plan everything, right? So that comes in the bigger part. So friends, any questions? In fact,
Hi,
Sunshine.
Vishal.
Yes, I was
Okay,
waiting
so
for it.
what's the difference between a certified ServiceNow administrator and certified system administrator?
Can you repeat? Like I
What's
got.
the difference between the certified ServiceNow administrator
Right.
and certified system administrator?
So see, the certified system administrator is the basic curriculum which have, and ServiceNow is primarily designed for ServiceNow administration. So if you see, they call it as a CSA. So organizations also will see that if you have a CSA, they would actually prefer your resume. System administration is the basic thing, but nowadays they look forward to ServiceNow. So let me show you this.
Okay, so there is difference between the ServiceNow administrator and system administrator.
Yes. So
Sure.
it's focusing on your ServiceNow. So that's an exclusive certification by ServiceNow. Okay.
Okay, because I have a CSM.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a Scrum Master.
Fantastic. See, I'll just share you. See, it's about platform independence, right? So that's fine. If you have any additional certification, that's appreciated. But if you see here, see this one, certified system administrator. So this is what they're looking forward to. So we'll also help you out in this because by the time we finish our ServiceNow curriculum, you will be able to address those. See, the whole idea is how we are planning, how we can take it to the next level. So and this is what we plan. And in fact, if you see the way we are going in, we have seen a great closure. So that's very interesting. For some success stories, I'll see if I can get you connected, or Sudesh will help you out in that, and will show you that what all our students have achieved in the previous batches. Okay. I hope that addresses your question.
Not really. I still want to know the difference between because two of them are system administrator. Okay, so the other one is for ServiceNow. It has a particular one, and I think a system is general, correct?
Exactly. So see, ServiceNow is product specific certification. So when you say ServiceNow administration, it's a product specific administration where you will understand that how ServiceNow and others tools are working. So ServiceNow, how to manage ServiceNow, how you can create forms, you can modify forms, how you can use a CMDB, how you can add workflows and everything. Generic system manager or system information administration will be managing without any other tools. Okay, so that's a generic idea. Ideally, we recommend to have. So see why we are focusing again, we are focusing on IT, and especially most of the organization here are using ServiceNow. So that's the intended for us that you get these certification.
Sure. Thank you.
The general system administration will know how the basic things works, right? Operations and everything. But when you have a product specific, it's always great to know that how the product is working. So you have a well idea of overall how the product is going ahead. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. So friends, now we have this, and who can tell me what do you understand from this? So I want you to put in your answers in the chat box and let me know what do you find here, or what is your understanding? And 20 seconds for this to answer. What is the first thing comes in your mind?
Business environment.
Very good. And what else?
Basically, here, like, it's just telling us about like what are the various factors that can affect a business.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Very good. What else? So in fact, Summer, if you see the blue circle, you should. Okay, fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. But as I said, we will be looking at a different thing. So if you see this, this is a layered model of our enterprise ecosystem. Okay. And especially if you see, there are three different zones. Okay. So if you see, the first one is core enterprise. So this is our innermost circle. And when we speak of innermost circle, what does it have? It has our initial elements, like it has department units, it has value stream, it has capabilities, and then we have supply chain. As soon as we move towards the extended enterprise, which is again identifying the external entities. If you see here, these are external entities which are interacting with my core enterprises. So what are those? Strategic partners, direct customers, supplier, customer, competitor, investor, and other stakeholders. And if you go to the outermost circle, this overall represents the broad influencers or external influencers who are shaping the extended and core enterprise. So in this, we have political, economical, social, technology, and climatic conditions. So ideally, if you see that in an organization, it has multiple layers and there will be a lot of interaction and influence from internal operations, partnerships, external environment forces, and planning the roadmap. So as a BA, you need to understand that you might have to collaborate with or connect with all of them. You need to understand this. Okay. Because see, if you don't understand the ecosystem, you will not be able to communicate with them. And if you're not able to communicate them, then there becomes an issue, right? Because as mentioned earlier, a right problem to the right solution. If you figure out the wrong problem, you will give the right solution for the wrong problem. Okay. And that won't be helpful. So let's try to understand by this. Okay. So if you see here, we have given an example of one of the high operating costs, shrinking profit margin in duplicating cash reserves in management of a local bank. Okay, so if you see, there is a local bank management which has multiple challenges. Okay, so probably as a BA, you will come across similar people or similar issues or various challenges. Organization facing various challenges will come up and ask you that, hey, we need a resolution. We need someone who can solve. So ideally, if you see here, there is a decline in the revenue, loss of customer base, lack of employee satisfaction, high employee attrition rate, high defect rate, the stock prices are falling, and their margins are shrinking. And you can understand that as an organization, this will hit them badly. So what you have to do as a BA, that you will come into and try to identify the problem domain analysis. That means this will help us in identifying that what is the root cause. Okay. So if we change the terminology in a way, if you see decline in revenue, employee satisfaction, customer base, and others are the symptoms. They are not the root causes. So you as the BA has to come forward and do following things. First, identify the main root cause, define business need, define solution, and finally implement the solution. So if you see here in the problem domain analysis, the analyst investigates the root causes. He'll try to identify what are the different strategies, what is the policies, skills, expertise, and the organization structure. And eventually, he'll come across and help you in understanding business processes and technology. If you come back to the solution domain, solutions is where that unless and until you have the root cause, you cannot go to the solution part. So in the first stage, we'll try to identify RC, which is the root cause, and then we move towards the solution. What is the solution? That should be with clear clarity and ensuring the solution has been designed in a way that will solve the purpose. So what you will be doing, adjusting the strategy, policies, skills, and structure plus processes. So you will define and align a solution that addresses the business need. Okay. So primarily, if you see here, this helps us in problem identification to solution design and eventually to the project initiation. So if you see here, the last stage, this is what you are supposed to do. And we have kept it in the next slide. Yes, I want you to go through this one and then I'll start. So friend, as a BA, this will be your role. So you will be producing the artifacts during requirement gathering and analysis phase. And if you see the breakdown, you will get started by analyzing the artifacts and deliverables. Okay. So what is there? You will understand the initial analysis, and that is requirement gathering, where you can see that there are, so if you see here in the first one, you can see there's a person and there are a lot of ovals. Like, so probably this is just like a case or a context diagram. Okay. Then we have documents. What will be the document? Project charter, project scope statement, requirement management plan, project plan, and we have FRD, which is functional requirement document. Okay. So once that is done, we move towards the detailed function analysis. What is that? We'll try to visualize the process in process flow diagrams or data flow diagrams. So you can see overall, if you see the slides, it's oval, different shapes coming in, right? So this is exactly what you are doing. So you are visualizing the process by flow diagram and data flow diagram, where you will be using system use case specification, you will have a business rule document, and then you will have supplementary specifications. Okay, so basic documentation will be there. Keeping on the agile, we'll be having agile or incremental specifications where we will create epics, user stories, acceptance criteria, and glossary document. So guys, it's okay if you don't know these terms because we will be discussing this. Okay, we'll be helping you out and we'll dive deep into every one of it. Okay. And then in the final stage where we'll also try to understand the requirement traceability plus supporting artifacts. We will try to understand with ER diagrams. We'll understand by workflows. We'll try to understand by having data dictionary. We'll have mockups and ensuring that what you are capable of. So now if customer sees that, don't you think that he will be in a right frame? So ideally, what you have done, identified, structured, and traced requirement, ensuring that a comprehensive set of deliverables is ready to guide design development and ensuring the alignment between business needs and technical outputs. So guys, this is what I am looking forward to. If you have any questions here, please let me know. I wanted to cover one business case study where I wanted to give you a task, but we can put it for the next class and we can start from by giving. So meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll just give you a hint. Okay. So what we can do, I would share the requirement and you have to prepare that and share it to me by the next class. Okay, so how you are going to address this, and everyone in the room will get 10 minutes. Okay, so whoever joins in will get 10 minutes to share his view. Okay, let's see. So friends, this is, you can take a screenshot, or if you want I can just paste it here in the chat box. I will guide you through it, and I want you to prepare a Word document or whatever you can prepare. Okay, and I want you to share in the next class. So in the next class when we get started, I want you to share this. Okay, so I also mentioned the expectation, and let me take you through this. So this is one of the business case for food delivery service case study. Global Corp is an international company that sells consumer goods. Global products like hair care products, lotion, security, beauty products, bath products, and other personal hygienes. Okay. Global Corp executives are looking to expand into new markets to grow their business and increase profit for their shareholders. One such market that they are looking to enter is the food delivery space market. They are looking at taking a piece at the market share from DoorDash and Uber Eats and start providing a service to deliver food from restaurant. The executive needs some analysis done to help them make a determination of whether or not this is a good decision. Okay, so they have defined the problem statement. And now what they have done? You are hired as a business analyst at Global Corp. Okay, so they have hired you. Now what they want is they want you to start understanding and prepare a business case to help the executive decide if going into the food delivery market is feasible or not. So what you have to do, create a presentation for executives in which you present your findings and make recommendation on whether they should go ahead with this initiative or not. So especially once you are back in the next class, I want you to design this and answer. The timeline will be 10 minutes only. Okay. So friends, if you have any questions here for this case study, feel free to ask. Friends, if you have any questions here, feel free to ask. Or if you want some hint, you can let me know. I can help you out with the hints also. But I'll only give hint if you type hint in the chat box. Okay. That's so guys, you think you will be able to complete this task? What do you think? Doable or you will try? Friends, can we have some answers in the chat box? Great. Okay, Summer says we'll try. Fantastic. So thank you. Summer, you want some hint? Let me know. So guys, if you want hint, you have to type hint in the chat box. Okay, Sachin says, Sachin, I have a high regards from you. I'm sure like you will get those done. Okay. So friends, again, just to help you to move towards the right direction. Okay. I am sharing this. Okay. So please make a note of it. So if you see here, we have these research questions. Okay, so especially you can try to use this. Okay, so if you see here, it says outline the problem this service would solve. What's the size of the food delivery market? What's the Demographic of user of food delivery services. Who are the competitors? How are they doing? What strategies are the competitors using? What is the food delivery market trend? Is it anticipated to grow? Is it saturated? Should Global Corp consider international food delivery service or local? What challenges the competitors are facing and users of food delivery services facing? What big picture strategy do you have for Global Corp? How to avoid the same challenges other competitors have? Okay. What big picture strategies you could suggest for making a difference in the market? What are the benefits of Global Corp if they enter this market? What are the risks? What is the recommendation? What kind of application they should use? Whether they use a mobile app, what how to go ahead. We can suggest new system enhancement to achieve the business model. So friends, I hope if you analyze these questions, you can take a screenshot and that will be helpful. So let me put it here in just a minute. So try using this as a baseline. I am just sharing it to you. Just a minute. So friends, I have shared this in the chat box as well. Okay, you can, or if you want, you can just take a screenshot. So friends, what I want is once you are back in the next session, I want you to design this. Okay, and let me know. So you have ample of time by we move into the next class, which is on Friday, 8 p.m. And by this time, once you are there, I want you, everyone to share their findings. So friends, please understand that will be very, very crucial for the roadmap ahead. Because as I said, as a BA, I need to understand what is the current state. So that's exactly what I want from you, that I want to understand that what is your current state, how you are aligning with the solution, how the mindset is working, how are you doing the requirement analysis, and where and when required, I can put in my inputs to enhance it. So friends, this is all from my end for today. I open it for Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Any questions? If you have anything in mind, let me know.
Yes, I have something in mind, but
Yeah,
not
yeah, please go.
related to this, okay? So the marketing, the Leadtecno, you guys are quite good in marketing. We've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of emails. And I'll ask myself, hope all this marketing can land us a job.
So
Hope we're
again,
gonna do this till all of us get something doing in BA.
Sunshine, just to share, see, so there are two things, right? It's about enablers, as I said, right? So what we are doing is we are enabling you. At the end of the day, you are the one who will be facing the interview, not me. And that's exactly what we are doing. We can guide you. It's your duty to face that interview. And if you want to check out, as I mentioned, see, you just check out our reviews, check out our websites. And if you want to discuss with few of our students, we can share the details with you where you can interact at how they started a journey. See, this is something, as I said, if you go back and check the way we have customized the curriculum, nobody does it. If you see the market, people will tell you, hey, just do CSA. Or people will say, hey, do the implementation specialist. But nobody will share in that you have to go ahead and do BA with ServiceNow, where we have added few more tools, right? So it's see, it's about doing the right thing at a right place. Okay, so that's exactly what we are here for. At any point of time, if you need any help, the team in the background or backdrop is always available for you. Don't you think so? That's a great thing.
Okay, thank you.
Great, great, super. So guys, with this, we can close the session for today and we'll be meeting on Friday evening. And in case if you have any questions, I'll be still there. Let me know. Otherwise, we can close it for a day. I
Hi,
hope.
BA.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Vishal.
Yeah.
Is this going to be in the PowerPoint presentation or just in a Word?
No, no. Just to learn, we'll be working on multiple tools. The presentation which I'm showing, that will be on a PowerPoint, but the rest, we have discussed all the tools, right? We'll be doing it on our tools.
This assignment.
So it can be on anything. It's about presentation. Like if you give me a presentation, I would be like great. It would be great.
Could you please send us the curriculum part which you
Yeah,
are
Adi,
going?
sure. Adi, you want Adi, if you can share in your email address,
Oh, okay.
so I'll ask the team to forward it to you.
Okay, I did.
Sunita, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Navde, Charles, friend, if you have any questions, please let me know. Chanda. Okay, so I'll just Ganga, if you have any questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi Vishal.
Hey,
Samar
hi.
this side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Samar.
Vishal, just adding into Sunshine's question that you said that you just enable us to, prepare for the interview and all.
Right.
And I think interview is all about knowledge and your confidence, right?
It's not
Yeah.
only about the knowledge and confidence, it's about the approach. See, business mindset is where people want their solution. So if they are not confident, they will never hire you. So please understand that this role demands that you have a great confidence. Because if they
Yeah,
feel that you
see the
are
confidence. Yeah, I'm only saying that the confidence will automatically be, triggered when we have a lot of knowledge regarding BA and service now, definitely. And we'll
see,
hope that you will provide that
see,
to us, and definitely
I
you will guide us the companies, like if we apply for some companies and as per the job description, you will just provide us the uh, the basic knowledge of the interview, that what are
will do that.
the basic type of questions they will ask, and definitely we will prepare for that, so that the chances to success rate of the interview should be higher.
Absolutely. That's what we are here for. Because you will feel, I'll tell you one thing. So most of the cases, what we have seen that our students keeps on referring more people to us. Why? Because they find that. So if you see like from almost all batches, we have people who have been placed. So that's one thing which is like we are confident about. So that's what we are here for. Okay.
Okay.
And see, as I said, BA is all about mindset. You are the solution provider and you have to think
Mm-hmm.
those lines. But if you try, so many times, what will people think that if he the business analyst, he can actually cross boundaries. The idea is you also have to know that, especially when you're working in real world scenario, you have to use your boundary. So see, there are scenarios where you can act as a consultant also. So there can be a scenario that people don't hire you, but they hire your services. So they can put you on a consultancy services. So eventually you can provide them a great solution. And that's why that's the confidence in you. Because if I trust that, okay, Summer can help me on this, then I'll hire Summer accordingly.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Right? See,
Yeah.
the idea is we are here to speak what we have. We are here to enable. And once you are there, trust me, everything goes well.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Hello guys, take care. Have a good night. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.
Nice. Bye.